Well, that was a hell of a night of trick-or-treating. I'm gonna just blow out the old jack-o'-lantern and go to bed. Uh-oh. Hello, I am Robert.
And I'm Elvirius.
What's today's movie?
Trick or Treat 2009.
It's a bit of a Halloween sampler. It's a bunch of stories. It's directed by Michael Dougherty, who he wrote Godzilla, and the next guy, the Godzilla vs. Kong, which is going to come out soon. He wrote the movie Krampus.
We have 4 stories that take place in this Trick or Treat universe, and they all sort of intertwine with one another. But you gotta look carefully.
Depends how many stories you count. There's really 5, but one of them's sort of a wraparound, you know?
Yes.
I gotta take this thing off. I can't breathe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, your mask. He looks better with the mask on.
So there's a character who features prominently in one of the stories. He's a little trick-or-treater, and he's all in orange with a burlap sack for a head. And his name is Sam, which is inspired or taken from the Celtic name for Halloween, it's spelled Samhain. If you read it, that's why you would say it. It's really pronounced Samhain if you were speaking Gaelic. But the main thing about this movie is there's rules to Halloween.
It takes place in a little town in Ohio that takes Halloween very, very seriously. And there's a couple rules that you have to go by. One of the biggest ones, though, is never blow out a jack-o'-lantern.
No, they're there to protect you. But it's not like, okay, here's one story, it ends. Okay, here's another story, it ends. They're all intertwined, and the editing job is really masterful.
Many people would say this is an editor's movie because of how things are intertwined with one another. I don't want to give too much away, of course, but these stories happen simultaneously. You'll notice certain things, like maybe the story will be focusing on one character, but while the other character whose story was just told, whether it was their victory or demise, they might be hiding in the background somewhere.
My favorite story was the one about the old quarry.
Ooh, yes, I did like that one.
Was that your favorite, though?
Believe it or not, I think my favorite was about the young girl who was a virgin at 22, and she may have found the right guy for her.
Played by Anna Paquin.
Yes, she's an Oscar-winning actress, too.
Yeah, for, I think, The Piano.
Yes.
And she was in True Blood. Mm-hmm. Do you know the name of the old man who played the part of the actor who played the old man in the sort of the last story?
Brian Cox, and you may not recognize him.
Cox? You said Cox.
Well, you look like a cock.
I'm sorry. The makeup department made him look like John Carpenter, the famous horror movie director. This movie has a big cult following. It wasn't a giant blockbuster at the movie theaters, but it's really super enjoyable.
One thing I'd like to say about one of the stories depicted in Trick or Treat is that a bunch of events could have just been avoided if you gave the kids candy. And none of those fun-size craps either. I don't know what's fun about something being smaller.
Me neither. Lines from the movie.
My tits keep popping out.
That's the idea. It smells like a dead whore out here. Say, how many pumpkins do you think we should give this movie?
Oh. I'd say 5 pumpkins.
It is a really good movie.
Yes.
It's not a classic long feature narrative. It's like a bunch of shorts put together.
But it's good.
But it's in a very interesting way. And the stories are pretty good. 5 pumpkins.
Hey there. Thank you all for watching October Moviefest Countdown.
Yes, and if you enjoyed it, there's more Robert to find on allmediatv.com. You should subscribe right now. There's a 7-day free trial period. allmediatv.com.